Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update. Israel's Army radio reported that 2 IDF soldiers and a border guard officer were lightly injured during a Palestinian riot Friday in Kfar Kadum in the West Bank. The rioters threw stones at the soldiers. The injured were evacuated to Beilinson Hospital in Petah Tikva. This riot follows one on Thursday that began with a confrontation between the IDF and Palestinian Authority police forces, in which a Palestinian officer punched an IDF officer in the face. Despite heightened tensions in the area, relations and communication between the IDF and the Palestinian security forces are expected to continue as usual. Immediately after Thursday's incident, senior officers in the IDF's Judea and Samaria division contacted their Palestinian counterparts and made it clear to them that the incident was unacceptable. New Jersey Congressman Chris Smith is leading a bipartisan congressional delegation to Bolivia to seek the release of American Jewish businessman Jacob Ostreicher, who has been held in a Bolivian prison without formal charges or bail since June of 2011. Smith, who was accompanied by New York Congresswoman Nydia Velázquez, has held 2 hearings on the Ostreicher case and met with Ostreicher back in June. Smith arrived in Bolivia on Thursday and said, "We are here to visit Jacob, who is sick and who I passionately believe is innocent. Our hope is that the government will see its way to release him and allow him to come home to the United States and be with his wife and family." Ostreicher is said to be frail due to a liquid-only hunger strike he has been on to protest his confinement. He's also being treated for Parkinson's disease. Ostreicher was arrested in Bolivia last year on suspicion that the rice business he had invested in had connections to money laundering and drug trafficking. Evidence has never been brought to support these claims. As we reported to you last week, several government officials were recently arrested for trying to extort money from Ostreicher. Ostreicher has said since his arrest that corrupt Bolivian officials wanted to keep him in jail so they could sell the thousands of tons of rice they confiscated from him and to extort money from him in exchange for promises to help get him released. 4 Jewish Democrats have kept or earned top slots on U.S. House of Representatives committees. Representative Sander Levin of Michigan kept his top position at the Tax-Writing Ways and Means Committee, as did Representative Henry Waxman of California on the Energy Committee, after the caucus's standing committee announced its selections on Tuesday. Representative Nita Lowey of New York rose to the top slot on the Appropriations Committee, and Representative Eliot Engel, also of New York, is now the ranking Democrat on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Engel said he was honored and privileged to receive the backing of his colleagues and said, "I look forward to working with members of the committee from both sides of the aisle as we address the many international issues facing our country today." The Reform Movement expressed its opposition to the Israeli government's plan to move forward with building in the controversial E1 area, which connects Ma'ale Adumim and Jerusalem. The area is part of new building plans approved by Israel last week after the UN voted to upgrade Palestinian status to that of non-member observer state. The Union for Reform Judaism and the Central Conference of American Rabbis said building in the E1 area would cut the West Bank in 2, making a contiguous Palestinian state virtually impossible. They said building there makes progress toward peace far more challenging and is difficult to reconcile with the government of Israel's stated commitment to a 2-state solution. The statement also condemned the Palestinian Authority for their unilateral decision to seek upgraded status at the UN, calling it counterproductive to the cause of peace. And finally, Hanukkah begins Saturday night with the first candle being lit. The 8-day Jewish Festival of Lights commemorates the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem following the Jewish victory of the Maccabees, who revolted against the Syrian Greeks in the 2nd century BCE. Make sure to check the Shalom TV schedule for special Hanukkah programming throughout the holiday. Wishing you a very happy Hanukkah. That's Shalom TV's news update. I'm Teisha Bader.